This right here is my favorite thing ever in the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long.
Now, don't get me wrong. I am very grateful for how the last video was done. It's pulled great views, got great interaction, got me a handful of new subscribers, which is obviously great. Thank you very much. The only problem I have with it is the fact that it's because of Katames. The fact that he is the reason for this. It really does hurt. It really hurts deep down inside me. Yeah, I just wanted to start this video by saying thank you for the reaction on the last video, and fuck you, Katames. So just for a little context regarding this particular race, during my, let's call it, heyday of league racing, I developed a reputation for being quite a good defender. I also developed a reputation for bullying children, but that's not what this video is about. That's next week. And because of this, every single time that I race on F1 and there's an opportunity to defend, I get an overwhelming sense of an ego to not let whoever it is, whoever it may be, to pass me. And the rare moments I do get passed in races, I honestly don't know because it never happens. And this race was another one of those occasions. I was put in a position where I needed to defend, so I treated it like it was for a world championship. Qualifying was actually pretty successful. I qualified P6 out of a lobby of 17 people in, and for me, at Hungary, that's pretty impressive. I can't say the same about the starts, however. For whatever reason, I just can't get to grips with these starts, and I assure you that's not pun intended. However, if you want to click off this video after that pun, I completely understand, I would too. Regardless, it's a pretty average start, coming down towards turn 1. It looks like we're going to maintain position at least. We're up the inside of P5, but we get squeezed just a little bit, get a slightly poor exit. And given it's an 18-man online race, I'd say that's pretty successful for a turn 1. There's no collisions, no actual contact. There's a few yellow flags behind us, but maintain position. You can't really ask for much more. Coming through turn number 4, it looks like we're going to get an unconventional pass made up towards turn 5, up the inside of the standard livery guy. That's what we're going to call him, I guess, but he gets a better run on the outside, and we have to slot back to P6. Although there's a little bit of carnage ahead of us, we can't make any positions. At the end of lap 1, we're putting Dusty under pressure. He goes defensive into turn 1, but we have a lock-up worthy of a Mercedes drive into turn 1, and we lose position to P6. A couple laps later, and I have described this race as annoyingly clean for an online race. We're still P5. No, we're not. We're on lap number 5, not P5. A few laps later, and I have described this race as annoyingly clean, especially for an online race. We're still P7, having lost that position to P6 in the turn 1. However, coming out of turn 1 this time round, there's a little bit of carnage with 2 cars. We managed to make it 1 position. That's pretty much it for this clip. Oh yeah, by the way, P7 just completely vanishes. No idea how he did that or where he went, but yeah, that happened. A couple laps later and it's still annoyingly clean. However, we do have a rival now. We've got this guy called Marcus, who seems to be about our pace, and he's going for the undercut. So this time around we're going to push and we're going to box, and well, we're probably going to get jumped by him with the undercut. Because while Codemasters have fixed the tire warming issue from the last game, they have made it unbelievably OP. You've got to give it to Codemasters. They either fuck it up royally or get it spot on. There's no middle ground for them. During our in-lap, we also see one of the more embarrassing spins I've seen in my time of racing. I don't really know how we did that, but we'll take the P3. So at the midway point of the race, we make our pit stop, and I can only assume we're borrowing someone else's pit crew, given the colours they're wearing. But we make our pit stop onto the medium tyre, and you know we know we're going to get jumped by Marcus. It's just a matter of where we come out. We're going to come out annoyingly in P8, directly behind Ibdeby. I don't know, maybe he's an illiterate movie fan, I don't know. Whatever his name is and whatever it means, we are stuck behind him, as well as this little beast guy. These two are having a nice little battle, to be fair, but it's holding me up massively, and we're losing touch of Marcus. At this point I'm hoping I've got the straight line speed to pass him down the main straight, but Ibdeby and Little Beast is going to collide, going to give us wing damage. We're going to spin, just out of sympathy really, and we're going to drop down to, I think, P9? P8. Okay, we gained some positions on pit stops, but still, shit. One small positive we can take from that collision is our damage isn't too bad, even though it is at Hungary and it is arguably the worst track to have wing damage. but it's not as bad as Ibdabi, who has to come into the pit, and we go back at the P6. I don't know if you can hear that, but someone's cutting their lawn outside, which is really annoying. Oh, they've stopped now. Oh, thanks. I can't help but notice that the lawnmower started after I went off track onto the grass, so I can only assume my neighbours are mocking me. Obviously, with the broken wing at this track, we've got no hope in hell of catching P5 now. And to add to our misery, obviously P7 is rapidly approaching us, and now it's directly behind us as we come on to the main straight at the end of lap number 13. Now at this point of the race is where the stubbornness and the defensive side of me comes out. We've got 5 laps remaining, we've got a broken wing, and we've got a car that's harassing us. So I'm going to do what I do best and defend for my life, even though it's only for P6 and it doesn't actually mean anything. As you saw, Pastore went to the inside line at turn number 1, we went to the outside, and with the better traction we're able to defend. He's going to harass us through turn number 3, turn number 4, and hopefully not towards turn number 5, as that could get quite messy. Now for those that are bored of this video and have already checked to see how long's left, you would have noticed we're only just halfway through this video and there's 5.5 minutes left. You may be wondering why I'm bringing that up, and that's because this was the rest of my race, being harassed by this guy and having to defend for my life. We're under attack once again, coming down towards turn number 1, we sort of park a car in the middle, he goes to the outside, hopefully to get a better exit like we did last lap. We're going to leave him just enough room on the outside, and for whatever reason he loses traction, and we defend once more. With the help of the second DRS strike, he is going to go upper inside, having a look, down towards turn number 3 once more, outside of turn number 4, we're going to push him wide, off the track, and thankfully he does back out of it, so he's a respectful driver. For now, I could tell at this stage he was starting to get frustrated and trying moves in unconventional places to try and throw me off. We use this to our advantage, however, as we run a little bit wide at the final corner, invite him into the inside, completely ruin his exit onto the main straight and the main overtaking opportunity, and thankfully we get a great exit, pull away, and on this occasion we defended quite nicely. However, I doubt I'll be able to use that trick again. You'll be shocked to hear this, but you actually join me at the final corner once more. We're once again under pressure by Pastore, and we can't use our trick we used on the last lap. However, the racing gods have blessed us, as there's a lapped car right ahead of us who's going to give us DRS, and honestly, without that, we definitely would have lost the position here. Admittedly, the ghost car does distract me into the braking zone ever so slightly, so we are actually going to be passed by Pastore ever so briefly, but once again with the help of DRS and better traction out the first corner, we're going to retake P6. Pastore is obviously going to fight it on the outside at turn number 3, and credit to him, he's completely justified too, but with a better exit out of turn number 4 and running wide a little bit, we're going to stay side by side up towards turn number 5. Thankfully he backs out, and we hold on once more. Sorry for ruining the momentum of this video, but I've just had a look at the track map because I didn't know the coming corner in the next clip, and I've realised I've been saying turn 3, 4 and 5 wrong the entire video. I'm not going to re-record it. If Crofty can make a living out of fucking up on commentary, then it's good enough for my channel. As we head towards the closing stages of this race, onto the final lap, we're going to head down towards turn 12 first though. This is where Pastore gets desperate. He goes up our inside, through sector 3, side by side of us, but we've got the inside line for the following corner, and if he keeps this up, he is going to ruin his momentum down the main straight for his hopefully final attempt at passing us. He seems to know this, however, backing out before the final corner, still on the inside ever so slightly, but he is directly behind us. Does he have enough momentum to pass us? We're going to use all our ERS to try and stay ahead of him, park it in the middle of the road. It looks like he's not just going to send it up or inside, which I fully respect from someone online. We've taken a tight line to the apex through turn number 1 to try and halt his momentum down towards turn 2. And if he is going to pass us, it's going to have to be without the use of DRS. He's looking around our outside at turn number 2, but can't make the move stick. And through sector 1, we're holding on to this position so far. The only issue is sector 2 is where our car is the weakest. We've obviously got half a front wing, so the corners are quite difficult, which is proven by the fact that he tries to run our outside at a very unconventional move and rightfully gets forced off track and loses momentum. Thanks to having a full wing though, he is directly on the back of us immediately. First place has crossed the line, but we don't care about that, and this is the sector that we really start to suffer. All that we can hope for now is we've got enough ERS in the tank to burn down this straight and hopefully defend into sector 3. We're going to go slightly defensive before I realise he's not going to go for a move up the inside, and unless there's a very audacious move from Pastore, it looks like we're going to hold on to this P6. He looks around our outside at the penultimate corner, can't make anything of it, trying to get the best exit he can. He's going to actually dive up our inside into the final corner, hit our car ever so slightly, but with the better traction and the awkward line he took, we're going to hold on to P6 And with a celebratory weave across the line, I mean, I'm trying to make it triumphant, but it is admittedly P6. It really should have been a podium. I mean, Marcus was P3. We're battling him at the start. I mean, I'll try and make it triumphant in the edit, I guess. I'll try and make P6 seem worth it. I mean, I thought it was quite a triumphant drive. I was quite proud of it when I did it, but admittedly, looking back on it, I didn't make up a single position. Much like my content, underwhelming, I think, is the word we can use to describe that race. Sorry for wasting your time.